just sitting here jamming while I wait for you all to come on. Hi, Christina. Hi, Cate. Okay, let me turn my music off. I was sitting here jamming to the preschool tunes that me and baby girl that I watch, that I'm the nanny for, listen to me, that I'm the nanny for. She loves those songs. So my husband suggested that I have a theme song. So my theme song was If You're Happy and You Know It. So is everybody happy today? It is Monday. So I see Laura, and I see Cate, and okay, there's more than one Laura. There's two Lauras, Lisa and Heather and Lisa and Joanne and Laura and Haley and Cate, and let's see who else, Christina and Alex and Heather. Hello, everyone. Hello. How is everyone doing today? I want to say a special thank you to Laura. Okay, I'm going to mess up your last name. Is it Stieglitz? I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, she helped me yesterday. I uploaded the new version of the Apple phone. And so I tested it yesterday to make sure it worked. And she came on live with me to help me test that. And yes, I deleted the video. So if you didn't see it live, I'm sorry. Anyway, today we are talking about the INA. We have two nominees. Let's see, last year Laura and Cate were nominees for the Nanny of the Year award by the INA, and this year Cate is nominated again. So we got two nominees in the house tonight. Let me see if I can get let me see. Apparently they changed everything else on here. Let me see if I can get everybody on here. Let's see. I'm going to add Cate. Let's see, Miss Cate. Cate, it says I can't bring you on camera. Can you do me a favor, Cate? Can you look down at the bottom of your screen, and there should be a little video with the plus sign, or the little man with the plus sign on there, icon. Can you hit that button for me so I can add you to the broadcast? In the meantime, in between time, I know I saw Laura Schroeder on here, but I can't find her. So I'm going to search for her and invite her to come. So I sent her an invite. I thought I saw her earlier. And let's see if I can invite, Miss Cate. Because it's not good if I can't get you guys on here. Okay, so I sent you all an invitation to watch, an invitation to come on. But for some reason... Oh, Christina, please be careful. You're driving. Okay, you don't see the little plus sign, Cate? Okay, so is there a video, a little video icon at the bottom of your screen with the little plus sign in there? First of all, let me ask you, hi Claylee, hi Maria. Oh, it's a little green thing. Okay, Laura says it's a little green thing down at the bottom with a man. Okay, see, I have something different on my side. Are you on your phone, Cate? That's first of all. And I know I saw Laura. At least I thought I saw Laura come in. But I don't see her anymore. Oh, no, 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 Cate. You have to be on your phone, on your mobile device. Yes, it matters. It matters because I can't invite you in if you're on your computer. I need you on your mobile device. And then I can invite you in. That's what's going on. That's why I can't. Okay, so for everyone who is watching, if you are a guest on this show or any other Facebook Live, you have to be on a mobile device in order to come on live in somebody else's live feed. Just so you know. I learned that the hard way because I tried to do it from my computer, and first of all, it looked horrible. And then second of all, it was, you can only do it from your computer by yourself if you're doing a monologue. If you want to invite someone as a special guest, then they have to be on a mobile device because that's what Facebook Live is. It's meant to be a mobile, when you're out in public, you're going somewhere and you want to stop and, you know, I see so many people walking their dogs and showing off, you know, where they are, you know, on vacation. That's why it, you know, it's called Facebook Live. So you can go on Facebook. Okay, there's Cate. Hi, Lori and Crystal just came in. Okay, Miss Cate. Let's see. You have to hit the accept button in order to come on.
Hi.
There she is. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Did you rush home from work?
I did, but I drove safely because there's no traffic because we're on spring break here.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great. Caught you on a great week.
Yes.
So, tell us about yourself outside of the nanny world.
Outside of the nanny world? Oh, man. There isn't much outside of it. I live in the suburbs of Chicago, and we just welcomed our first puppy to our family. His name is Jean-Claude Van Damme because he was born on Jean-Claude Van Damme's birthday, and we couldn't agree on a name. So that's what we did.
Okay.
But yeah, John and I live together happily, and we're actually about to put our house on the market.
That's scary.
So yeah, that's, other than being a nanny and doing my nanny world things, that's all that consumes my weekends is puppy and selling the house.
Okay. Okay. Well, hopefully you'll get it sold soon.
Laura, we're in Naperville. Someone just asked which suburb.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and Laura, I will invite you on after Cate is done because I can only invite one person. That's the bad part about Facebook Live too. You can only invite one person on at a time unless you're sitting right there together. You can only invite one person on at a time. So I will invite you on right after I finish talking with Cate. So just so you know. So Miss Cate, back to you. There's so many things, so many rules.
Yeah, this is my first time doing this, so I'm all new, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know we couldn't be on the computer.
Yeah, no, you can't be on the computer. Sometimes the tablets work. Sometimes.
Good to know.
Mine didn't work, so that's why I say sometimes.
Good.
But
hi, Laura.
My phone works for sure, so I use my phone.
Great. Me too.
So tell us, first question is, how do you become a member of the INA? And for those of you who don't know what INA stands for, it's the International Nanny Association.
They make it so easy. All you do is go to nanny.org and click on the membership pull down tab. And there are several different membership types, but you can go on, sign up, pay, and there you go.
And you become a member.
And you become a member. It's been so long since I've been a member that I don't actually know if they ask questions, but I know that you can click apply and send in your email. But yeah, they make it very easy, or you can ask anyone. You can call our office or ask another member to help get you set up.
Okay.
Most of us have nanny friends, especially in this group. So someone is absolutely able to help you. And Christina is our operations manager, and she also handles all the memberships. So that would be another great person, Christina Tracy.
Well, I know when I became a member last year, it said you have to be an associate member for a year before you could become a full-fledged member. Yeah. So I'm just waiting on April the 6th so I can become a full
member. Yeah. So people that just went into effect. So people like myself that have been members longer, we were grandfathered into that full membership prior. So yes, but it has changed, which is kind of nice that it's changed. It kind of gets your feet wet a little bit, and then it's great to hear that you're going to be a full member, though. That's exciting.
Yeah. Well, see, I didn't get into the nanny world. I didn't even know that Facebook, the Facebook nanny groups existed, because if you're a nanny and you don't know, and you just honestly, you don't know, you meet other nannies at the park, but you don't talk about Facebook, you don't talk about all the things going on Facebook. You just, you having play dates and things. I did not realize that there were groups until I got to the International Nanny Training Day, which was like a couple of weeks later after I became a member. And that's when I found out about all the nanny groups. And I was like, wow, look what I've been missing. So that was when I just started becoming involved and started getting my feet wet, like you say. Now I'm ready. I'm ready for this now.
Well, and people are, like Laura said, it's only $45 a year, and which is, it's twofold, because it's still expensive for people. All of us work really hard. So for us to earn $45, it takes a while, in our work week. So it's a lot to commit to, but it's for the whole year. And there are many benefits, but one of the largest one is conference. To get that discounted member conference price is huge. And and conference is just amazing. Until you're there, it's hard to put into words what makes it so amazing. But the friendships that I've made, and the people, every year I go and I have a question. I've been a nanny for over 12 years, and every year I still have a question, and somebody always has an answer. So it's just incredible.
Okay, so you all are going to have to bear with me this year when I come, because I'm going to have plenty of questions.
Oh, there's somebody that will have an answer. I promise that.
I am new to this. This will be my first conference. I didn't know what the conferences were like until I went to Nanny Palooza, and I was like, oh my God, what have I been missing out on? Yes, I'm so psyched. I'm so, pumped about all this training and all this, because it is so different. Okay. That was my...
Oh, sorry.
Somebody is sending me a text message. I'm so sorry.
No.
I thought I silenced that. But it is so different. So I'm curious to know the difference between the INA and the Nanny Palooza. But I'm sure I enjoy both of them, because it's
everybody gets a very different feeling from both. I've talked to a lot of people. Last year was actually the first year that I went to Nanny Palooza, and I went to Maryland and to the UK. And I've been to several of the INA conferences, and they're all so very different. The way that you learn and the way that you do things, everything about them, they're completely different experiences, but both are a can't miss.
Yes. And I'm so glad. I'm torn. I want to go to both Nanny Paloozas this year, and INA and the ball, and there was something else I had on my list.
National Nanny Training Day, and there's the Nanny Jamboree, which one of my great friends, Kelly, is speaking at. Nanny Jamboree.
Okay, see, I didn't know. Let me write this down right quick, because I didn't know anything about a Nanny Jamboree.
I don't know much about it. I've actually never been. But Kelly Smith, who was actually a Nanny of the Year nominee with us last year, she also runs the Planned Nanny, I believe, Facebook page. But she is speaking at it this year, and it just looks incredible. So that's something to definitely check out. There's events all over the place, and trying to figure out which to go to and which not. I'm also a member of different organizations. So one of the Nanny Paloozas overlaps with a DEMA conference, which is the Domestic Estate Management Association. So it's like, yeah, how to choose.
Yes, you want to go to all of them. Like, okay, does my pocketbook, does my nanny's salary, is it conducive to all these conferences?
Right. Well, that's why they have conference endowments that just happened for the INA. But also asking for parents, your employers, in your contract for that right up front. I mean, even if it wasn't negotiated into my contract until this year, and I got my conference fees put into it, because it's continuing education. And how are we going to better ourselves for your family if we don't have that? So it's worth an ask. It's definitely worth it.
Okay. Yes. Just $45. Remember, even just the members.
Oh yeah. Christmas. Ask when your employers are asking, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for your birthday? INA membership. I want conference fees help. I want hotel fees help. Those are things that we don't think about, but it's worth the ask. Yes, Laura asked if the information at INA is a more complex level. I wouldn't say that it's complex. It's a very different, unique experience. I think all conferences are all very different. But I've had an exceptional time at INA and an exceptional time at Nanny Palooza. I do feel Nanny Palooza is more nanny based, whereas the INA is kind of like an umbrella that goes over everyone. And there's agencies, there's NCSs, and there's nannies. And there's 3 different tracks that you can go on. And you don't have to be an agency to go on agency track, like to go into one of their workshops. Because I've taken a lot of agency courses, because sometimes you kind of want to learn what they're doing on their side so you can better yourself as a nanny. So I've taken some on the agency side, I've taken some on the NCS, I've taken some nanny, and you don't have to pick until you're there. You don't have to pre-register for the courses that are included in conference. There are some that you can pay an additional rate for, but it's up to you. And I've taken some of the ones that I paid the additional rate for as well. Like one last year that Megan hosted with Caroline, Megan Metzger, which she's awesome. They did an agency 101. So if you want to start an agency, or you're thinking about starting one, or even a business, it was so informative. It was well worth it. And I know that they're offering it again this year. So anyone that hasn't done it should very much so look into it, because they're 2 of the most incredible people, and it was worth every penny. I don't have the intention of starting my own agency, but I learned so much from it. So it was great.
Well, at least you prepare yourself for the agency you want to sign up for. Okay, well, I know they're going to require this, and they will require that. They're going to require this. See, you're like me. I go and find out the information. Okay, so what do I need to improve myself so I can get, impress them to get a better job, to elevate myself to the next level? It's all about the next level for me. It's all about getting more and learning more, and the more you know from all around, all sides, the better you are as a person, and the more knowledge you have to work with. And it also gives you more leverage with your families.
Absolutely.
I know this, I know that, I've been here, I've been there, you're looking for this. Oh, I can help you with that because I learned this back in that class, or I learned this over in that conference. Yes.
So that's a perfect way to explain it. This year, when I negotiated into my contract for continuing education, every year that I go to conference, I always come home and I give them just a short 1-page write-up of things that I learned, the courses that I participated in, or I should say the workshops I participated in, and how it's going to help our family, how it's going to better help my employers and their children. And they really appreciate that. And it's a great tool to use when you go to renegotiate your contracts to add into it. Like, I'm going to go, and it's almost like you write a paper afterwards and just let them know, like, it's beneficial, and maybe they'll help you cover the costs. And it's a good way to look at it.
Yes. Now, for my next question, the credentialing process.
Yes.
I know that INA has a credentialing process. I know it's the credential, and is it the basic assessment test?
So there's the basic skills assessment, and then there's also the nanny credential exam. The basic skills assessment is kind of, I think it's I asked this question recently, and I believe that it's marketed more for people that want to just test their skill sets to maybe go into to working with an agency or something, to perhaps know where you stand as a nanny. Whereas the credential exam is a much more thorough. There's 100 questions that are multiple choice, and then there's an essay. It has to be proctored, so by somebody who has taken an oath. It is, thanks, Crystal, it was a really great idea.
Yeah, it is. I totally agree.
But yeah, so you have to plan it ahead of time. So you will have to submit a proctor ahead of time. Usually a librarian can do it, or an attorney of sort can do it. But it can't be anybody that can benefit from you. So it can't be your employers. It can't be, people who know your friends, because it's proctored. It has to be really legit. You sit for it. Right. It's 2 hours. A lot of communities, if you look on your local community nanny Facebook pages, they will tell you when they're going to be offering them, which is very helpful. And otherwise at conference, I know for sure we have at least one, but I think that there's 2 exams that you could sit for. I think there's one at the very beginning, and I think there's one at the end. Don't quote me on that. I know for sure there's one that you can sit for, which is proctored by a member of the association. I'm not sure who it is, but yeah. So it's well worth it. I'm a credentialed nanny. It's on my portfolio, so it's on my resume, and you get a logo that you can put on your business cards or attach it to your emails. It just really sets you to a different standard. It's not just the basic questions like, oh, how do you change a diaper? It gets more in depth, and then there's of course the essay question that they read. So I loved it.
Question change from test to test?
I don't know, because I've only taken it once, so I'm not exactly sure.
Well, that's good. You passed it.
I would imagine that every year, so I know that there's a committee, and maybe Laura can help me out with this, but I know that there's a committee that works to improve the exam every year to kind of stay current with the trends. So they do work on questions that are relevant to things happening now. So they very well may change the essay question. I have no idea.
Okay. Well, I know they're supposed to have it here in Dallas sometime this summer. So I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna give myself enough time, and I'm gonna take this test. I promised myself that I was gonna do that. So I'm gonna take this test.
Do it. And they offer like a comprehensive study guide, which is basically just like an online manual. And you know yourself as a nanny. So trust what you know as a nanny, and don't be so scared. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's a timed exam. And all of us are like, I haven't done a school exam in years. How am I going to pass it? Trust yourself as a nanny. Trust what your knowledge is. But definitely read it over. Yeah, you want to brush up a little bit on, the skill sets and expectations, because how we do things in our day-to-day is a little bit different than how we were taught when we first began. So it's kind of like going back to the basics and really making sure that you know the basics and it's right.
Okay. Now, you are a nominee for this year's Nanny of the Year. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So tell me, what is that process like?
Oh my gosh, it's so long. So you have to be nominated. You can't just wake up and be like, I feel like being a nanny of the year. You have to be nominated by a community member, employers, former employers, anyone that has witnessed you as your role as a nanny. So that's the hardest part, is getting somebody, because you actually kind of have to ask them, because not a lot of parents, thanks, Laura. Laura was an amazing nominee last year.
I know.
She was incredible. Still is. But so having that discussion with your employers, or giving more knowledge to people around you that it does exist, is important, because a lot of people don't, unless you're an INA member, a lot of people don't know about Nanny of the Year, and most employers also do not know about it. So just educating them, on that, and talking about it, like, oh, there's the Nanny of the Year, and oh, you can be nominated for it, and then just dropping hints along the way. And it's just so important to
name calling, shopping, all that good stuff.
Well, and
there's an award for nannies. You knew that, didn't you?
Well, when they're commending a job well done, like, oh my gosh, Kate's the best nanny. She did this today with our little one. Hint, hint. That's a really good time to slide in. Like, yeah, and there's an award for that.
Yes.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah. So you have to be nominated by Halloween. So October 31st. I believe that nominations open sometime in the summer, maybe early fall. I'm not exactly sure. And
so I need to start working now.
I mean, I wouldn't say right now, but I would definitely drop the hints.
Dropping hints. That's what I'm saying.
Why not? Now. People don't know that it exists. I mean, employers, it's really hard. So definitely drop the hints. Once you're nominated, you are notified that you were nominated, and then you have to fill out a portfolio that takes you 11 years to complete. It is, and maybe Laura can vouch for this as well. I'm not sure if there's any other Nanny of the Year nominees on, but it is time. It takes so much time. It's your whole career as a nanny. You have to put it on paper, and it's not just your resume, it's your credentials and what you've done and what your accomplishments are. And there's letters you have to write, and then you have to ask people for, like, it's just, oh my gosh, there's so much that goes into it. Yes. And you're notified by November 15th if you're going to be in the Nanny of the Year nominee process, if you're accepted as a nominee. So not everyone can just do it. You also cannot nominate yourself. Note to everybody, you cannot nominate yourself. They will meet at you immediately. It is not accepted. So November 15th, you're notified if you can move forward. And then you have until January 15th to, yes, exactly. Laura just said it's about 100 hours of work. And that's on top of everything that you're doing in your community as a nanny, and also at your position and your private life. So it takes forever to put it all together. And you have until January 15th to complete it and submit it. And then there's interviews that you have to do, and your references are contacted. And around now is when they've kind of finalized the process of it, and then we're notified. So I know that Marcia Hall, who's the current president of the INA, who's also going to be the conference coordinator starting in May following conference. But oh boy, I just lost my train of thought. What was I going to say about her? I was talking about, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'll get back to it if I remember that.
Okay.
But it's a very long process.
Okay. Now, my last question is, tell us about the Ambassadors Program. I know it's new.
Yes, it is new. It's also quite a lengthy process. It seems like everything that we do with Nanny of the Year, with the Ambassador Program, those are INA programs. And then Nanny Palooza does the International Nanny Training Day, which I'm also hosting one this year. They all kind of overlap time-wise. So right now, all of these things are working together at the exact same time.
I'm trying to get everybody out here. I'm like, okay, so that's next month. Okay, this is coming. Right, okay. So, yeah. So I'm trying to get it all out here so everybody can have access and have time to get your money in, get your pennies together, do what you need to do.
Yes.
And and start planning for Nanny Palooza after all of this is over.
Exactly.
And the Nanny Jamboree too, whenever that is. Yeah, all of that.
Yeah, and thanks, Laura. And Laura's also hosting International Nanny Training Day too.
Yes.
But yeah, so the ambassador program last year, I was really inspired by a lot of our international members in general. We had a Facebook town hall meeting for the INA, which is another benefit. Our town hall meetings, we can't physically go because we're scattered across the US, but you can all meet on Facebook and everybody can post questions, and there's live, all of our board members are live on there. Maybe not all at the same time, but they're on there. Just answering questions and getting things figured out. And last year, a lot of questions came up about international membership, and it's for an international organization, we were lower than we really wanted to be. So after that town hall meeting, I was like, there's got to be something I can do to help. What can I do to help? How can I help? So I just started typing. I wrote an entire letter and sent it to the board of the INA. And I was like, I want to help. I want to develop this program. I would love to work with the INA on this. And that's how the baby was born. It's kind of broad. We're still in our pilot year here right now. Just put together that you are the Cate who emailed me about National Nanny Training Day. Oh, yay. Hi. So in its first year here, we started the process in December, about December 15th, and we allowed for applications to come in, and that ended at the end of January. And then phase 2 happened in February, where screening, going through all the applications, reading questions, checking references, having a video interview. So anybody that is accepted to move forward, everybody's notified whether you're going to be accepted to move forward as a potential ambassador program team member, or if you are not. So you're contacted either way. And we have a short video interview. We contact all of your references. And then now we're in phase 3, which is the preliminary selection process. So this is when your portfolio, we put together a portfolio on your behalf. So it's all of your paperwork. It's letters from your references. It's our notes that we have, everything that we have that you provided us with, and everything that we know from the knowledge of exposure with you is what goes into it. And it's submitted to the board. So it's a board decision on who our ambassadors will be. And yeah, so they will be notified hopefully by the end of the week here if they're going to actually be ambassadors. And then this year they will be, for the first time, because it's the first year of it, they will have like a little ceremony at conference, and they're going to get a really awesome pin that says Ambassador Program Team Member that I designed. I'm so excited about. So yes, Laura and the awesome board did support me. But it's been really awesome. This program is so incredible because it doesn't just reach our international members, it reaches everyone that has questions about the INA. You know, when we were talking earlier about not a lot of people know about the Nanny of the Year, and certainly not a lot of, you know, our employers. And these are the people that are going to really help us engage with everyone, community, our agencies, our employers, parents, organizations. So they're really important, and they're really going to be helping us like create the face of the INA. So it's exciting.
Yay.
Yay.
I am so glad, so glad, so glad. Thank you for coming on tonight and sharing with us about the INA. And for those of you who don't have memberships, get them. The early bird special, because I think in a few days it's gonna go up to what, about $500 or more?
For conference registration? Conference registration. That's a really good question.
Because I know it started out, it was like if you got the early bird special, you could save like $200, as opposed to 2 months later you spend the whole.
So that's a really good question. I got early bird. As soon as I got it, I was on. I have the dates right here. So early bird already ended. General ended March 15th. So now we're in late. And late registration is March 16th to April 30th. And it is in the 545 range, but this doesn't stop you from asking help from your employers. And so, and if people need help and they're really interested in, putting together a letter, the INA is ask a member, ask one of our board members. Laura's one of our board members. Ask her for help writing it. Ask her, how can I approach my employers about this? How can I have them help me with my registration? And we can help. We can help you write these letters, and we can help you, ask.
Yes. Because that's how you get it done.
That's right.
I'm going to start. I need to go rewrite my contract, though, so I can get mine in there.
There you go.
Education and
just
everything.
add an addendum. Be like, we're in the second quarter of the year, the year starting in a little bit here. And I just wanted to add a little addendum to my contract. Will you help me with continuing education?
Because my contract renewal starts in June. I'm like,
perfect.
Yes. So, yeah, I'm getting ready to get that together.
Excellent.
Post-haste.
Well, start now, because I feel like contract negotiations can take months sometimes. So you want to get in and start working on that.
Yes, most definitely. Well, thank you so much, Cate, for your input and for telling us all about. We had a question. Laura said, are they regional? I'm assuming she means the ambassadors.
So they're all over the world. Everybody that's an INA member was eligible to, if they met all the requirements, they were eligible to apply. Since I don't know who are going to be our ambassadors yet, I'm not sure where they're going to be located.
Okay. Now, one thing that I didn't hear was, before I let you, what do the ambassadors do?
So they attend our local community events, and they help to raise awareness for the INA and help us gain membership and just really be out in the community educating. One of the perks that they do receive, not only obviously the really awesome pin, but you're an ambassador for 2 years. So they'll start at the end of conference this year, and then they'll go for 2 years. And they'll want to track their journey, because we'll put up videos and pictures to mark their journey along the way. But it is a commission-based as well program. So they have the opportunity to earn commissions off of everyone that signs up, and there's not a cap on it. So this is a great way for our members to help pay for their conference fees, help pay for if they want to take the credential exam, if they wanted to, anything that's in our INA store. And like I said, there's no cap. So you could sign up hundreds of members and get your conference fees waived for the next 2 years.
Hey
is right.
I need to sign up for that one. I need to do that one. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Okay, come on, April 6th.
Yeah.
So I can get the full benefits of everything.
There you go.
Come on, April 6th. All right, Miss Cate, I'm going to let you go so I can talk to Laura.
Perfect.
And thank you so much. And I'll see you next week, right?
Yes, for International Nanny Training Day on here. Yes.
Yeah, for the road to the game day.
That's right. Thank you so much for having me. Bye,
You're
everyone.
welcome. Okay, now let me find Miss Laura. Okay, Laura, are you on your phone or are you on your computer? Because if not, I cannot invite you on unless you are on your on your phone. So let me see if I can. It says that, okay. I need you to, oh, you're on your phone? Yay. Okay, so, I don't know why it won't let me slide this way. Okay, can't bring Laura on camera. Okay. Okay, Laura, since you're on your phone, look down at the bottom. There's a, what did she say? A little green man with a plus sign. You did it before. Invite yourself in because it won't let me invite you from this end for some reason. So can you hit that button that you hit the last time to invite yourself in the broadcast? And it'll come up here on this end. I'll tell you, this new app, I'm having to reset everything that I'm doing. So um, okay, it won't let me. Okay, it's gone. Oh no. Let me see. Guest requests. Okay, hold on. Allow your viewers to request to join the broadcast. I got yes. Your viewers. I said, okay. It won't let me send you another invitation. Okay. How about you log out and then come back and see if it'll let you come back in? How about you stop the broadcast, go out of the live feed, and then come back and see if it will let you come in? Because it's not allowing. I sent you one. Apparently, Facebook has this new algorithms, and it won't let me invite you back in for some reason. There you are. Yes. Okay.
That worked.
Da, da. Okay.
That was the trick.
I need a Facebook manual. If anybody has a Facebook manual so that I could just flip through it and say, okay, this is the problem. Do this, do this, do this. And it would help me out tremendously. You all have one of those? Please, especially when it comes to Facebook Live. If you have one, Laura says she wants one as well.
Well, I don't know how I can go on after Cate. Cate was amazing.
Well, both of you all are amazing. Both of you all did the 100 hours of work to become the Nanny of the Year nominee.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, it's wonderful, and it's great to be a nominee. You don't have to win, I'll tell you. Really, it was wonderful to be a nominee. It's such a wonderful thing when you get all of that done, and to read all the letters of recommendation is just it's just a wonderful thing. It really is. I mean, I'm sure winning would be fabulous, but it really was a wonderful thing. I would do it again, but I can't do it as a board member, so it'll be a while.
So tell me, tell us about yourself outside of the nanny world.
There isn't much outside. Well, there is.
I know, right?
I do so much nanny stuff, but I've been married for 32 years.
Wow.
The same.
Now you deserve a crown for that one. I mean,
Yes.
it's just sitting right there. Yeah.
I have 3 children, and my 2 sons, both are on the autism spectrum, so that's a big part of my life. And I have a 3rd child as well, who is studying to become a clinical, a school psychologist, actually. Wow. And I'm involved with my church, and but almost all of my life right now has to do with nannying and childcare and all that kind of stuff. So it's a big part of my life, but I just love it. It's my passion. So my family and my work, that's me.
Family, work, and church. That's pretty much me too.
Yeah.
Pretty much me too. So you're a board member, and how do you, okay, so there's a process in everything. So how do you go through the process of becoming a board member?
Well, I was actually contacted by, there's a nominating committee. So the people on the board have nothing to do with who gets on the board. I mean, that's important because you don't want board members picking their own board members. I mean, that would
Okay.
not be what. So there's a separate nominating committee who's not associated with the board at all. And they go out and seek people who they think would be good board members. And people can apply to be a board member, or they ask around. I think they know people in the nanny world who they think would be good. I actually was contacted by the nomination committee last year. I think it's usually around January, maybe a little bit before that, to ask if I would be willing to run. I'll be honest, I was pretty naive. I didn't know all that I was getting myself into.
Wow.
But once I agreed, you do fill in paperwork. There are a couple of essays. There is an interview process. There are a background check, as well as letters of recommendation that they get. In a way, it's similar, but much less than the Nanny of the Year, but a similar kind of a process. Because it's sure that the board members are, going to be, good people for the organization.
You are basically representing the INA, and we need to make sure that you are going to be a great representative.
Exactly. This volunteer group, this nominating committee, they slate of nominees. So they ask them, they apply, they check all the references, and they come up with a slate of people. And then they put that slate up for the entire INA membership to vote upon. And that's what they do. They vote upon the slate. It's usually not contested in any way, but they do have to get a certain number of votes to make sure that it's legitimate. And if they get the certain number of votes, then those people are put onto the board at the conference. So that's what they say their oath or whatever, the blood oath, where we say that
Yes, I promise that I will.
I promise that I'll spend all my working hours working for the INA. But,
I will uphold everything that the INA stands for. Let me see what Christina said. Oh, thank you, Christina. Go have fun with your family. Christina listens to us because she's in a different time zone. She listens to Ask the Nanny on her drive home from work.
Oh,
so
great.
She's out in California. She listens she's 2 hours behind us, so she listens on her way home. And then she gets home, she's like, I gotta go inside now.
Well, I will say that I've gotten to know them over the past year, and all the people on the board, all the women on the board, it's all women right now, but all the women are truly the best of the best. I mean, I can't say enough. I was a little intimidated when I first joined, but they are fabulous women who just really believe in what they're doing and put their own time and effort into what they're doing. And I really could not be more honored to be a part of the board. It really is a fabulous group of women that I've gotten to know and really call them my friends. And it's an honor.
Good. I'm so glad. Now I have some questions for you. Let me move. That's the other side of the page. I had your questions and her questions, so we mixed up because it's just been that kind of a Monday. And I was like, let me separate these before I can.
I've had that kind of Monday.
It's been that kind of a Monday. Okay, so I asked you that, and that's been explained. Can you give us an overview of the INA conference for this year? I know it's going to be in Tucson.
It's in Tucson, Arizona. So far, we have more registrations than we did last year in Chicago, which is a great thing. We're not quite as high as we were in Washington, D.C., which was the year before, which was our highest ever in registrations. But we are really excited about the location. The place where we're having this it's like a spa. I mean, it's just absolutely wonderful.
I'm trying to
I
get
mean,
my husband. I'm like, okay, so take off work. I mean, come Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come on, we need a vacation.
it's a beautiful, beautiful location. We have some really top-notch speakers. We decided to have an overall theme this year, which is elevate, because we want to elevate the entire experience. We want to elevate the speakers. We want to elevate the location. We want to elevate the entire experience for everybody. And that really is what we've tried to do this year, is elevate the entire experience. And I'll be honest, I mean, I don't know how, that's hard to do. My first conference was in DC, and I was blown away. And I mean, I've been to Nanny Paloozas, and I absolutely adore Nanny Paloozas. I mean, Sue is I just love Sue. I mean, Sue is the best, and I love Nanny Palooza. And they are the fabulous. But when I went to the INA conference, I almost went thinking, gosh, maybe I'm not going to like it, because I was so in love with Nanny Palooza. But I was blown out of the water. I mean, the speakers are just top notch, and the ability to go the 3 different tracks like Cate was talking about is really interesting, because I would never have had an opportunity to go to an NCS class, but that can be really interesting, because I don't necessarily want to be an NCS, but I do take care of infants. So, that can be really interesting to have a class that's more in depth, that I could go to. And even the agency classes sometimes are really helpful as far as social media, how to market on social media and things like that. That kind of detail, I would never, know about. Right. And so someone had mentioned earlier about, are the workshops more, detailed, and I think in some instances they are kind of a little bit of a higher level. Not always, but I think in some instances they are a little bit more for a nanny who has maybe a few more years of experience, kind of a thing. But it's great for everyone. I think everyone who goes gets something out of it, whether you're a new nanny or an experienced nanny. I always get something, I always go and I always come away with something. I do at Nanny Palooza as well, but I always come away with something new that I hadn't learned before. And I think that's so inspiring, which was fabulous. But I just think that it's going to be a knock your socks off conference, and
great.
I think everyone is really, plus we have a really neat Friday night experience where we're going to go to an old Western studios, and we're going to have dancing and dinner, and it's an extra charge, but everything I'm hearing is going to be worth the extra effort if you'd like to have a really nice evening.
Well, I'll do the dinner. And I'll do the chair dancing, because that's what I do. When it comes to dancing, I can bop like this. That's me, a Hitch, the movie Hitch, when he said stay right here. That's me. I'll stay right here. So
right.
Yeah,
there's really
line dance,
there's
all that. That's not
at the. So I think there's something for everybody, and you will find your people. I think everyone finds their people when they're there.
Yeah.
And everyone is just so warm and welcoming too. Just like at Nanny Palooza, everyone just really is so happy to see you, and you'll make friends, and it's you'll just go home just feeling like on top of the world, which is so great.
That is so I'm so excited, because after Iodine and NTD last year, I was like, oh, this was so good. And then I got to Nanny Palooza. I was like, oh, this was so good. I'm waiting on Iodine, and I expect this is so good. I know. I love learning. Both my parents were teachers, and I have a degree in early childhood education. So I love learning. I love teaching. I love, I'm like a sponge when it comes to learning. And I ask a lot of questions. Cate and I were joking earlier today about asking a lot of questions. She's like, I'm sorry I'm asking so many questions. I said, don't worry. I have my days. I ask a lot of questions too. clarity is important. I need to know, am I doing this right? Is this what I'm supposed to, is this how this is supposed to go? I am a visual learner. I am one with hands-on visual learner. So going to these conferences and seeing them and being able to ask and, have the handouts, okay, reading is fun. Okay, but explain this to me. So give me an example. Give me some visuals like we do with our kids. And
Right.
Sometimes your imagination just kind of takes over. So if you can use your imagination to tell me, what I need to do, and I can visualize it, oh, I'm good. I'm good. I can just take off. So I'm going to have a lot of takeoff moments at this conference. I can tell.
Getting to meet these professionals who are at the top of their game, is so helpful to me, because when I run into a problem on the job, I know what websites to go to, and I know, who's Facebook to go to ask a question, because I know who are the top of people who are the top of each of the different categories, the sleep experts and the discipline experts, and, the different areas. And that I find that so, just so helpful to know where to go when I have a question, the top people in each area. And that's really helpful.
And it helps. I know it's going to help me, because since I started Ask the Nanny, I've had nannies inbox me and ask me questions. I was like, no, but hold on a second. I'll find what it does. So me educating myself helps me to educate the village. So, and that's all I want for all of my nanny sisters and nanny brothers. Educate yourself so you can help educate each one, reach one, teach one, so we can educate one another. And if you're learning from the top, have a trickle down effect, trickle it on down to someone else who doesn't know or who may not be able to afford to go. Teach them what you know so that they can do better and get better. And maybe one day they can go and become Nanny of the Year themselves.
Absolutely. That's what I'm hoping.
Yes.
Doing forever. I'm 53, so I don't, I have a limited lifespan, but I help, I run the support group in Charleston, and I help mentor, younger nannies and nannies starting out. And my hope is to pass my knowledge on, and that they will continue to take the ball and run with it here, so that at one point I can retire and they'll keep things going in Charleston.
And then you become the consultant and just say, okay, this is what you did wrong. This is what you did right. This is how we correct this, and we move on. That's what my dad does now. He's a retired teacher, and he's still consulting, as I like to call it. This is what you did wrong. This is what you did right. This is how we correct it, and let's move on. And it's just that simple, ladies. Each one, reach one, and teach one. I'm gonna make a T-shirt out of that. But I am so excited about INA. I'm so excited about International Nanny Training Day. I'm excited about all the conferences that are going on, simply because this time last year, I didn't know any of this. I had no clue of any of this. When I found out I had to change my career or make a different career path, that's when I started searching. Up until then, I was just relying on my confidence. People are not going to stop having babies. So guess what? I'm going to have a child forever. And then life happened. So
I didn't start in this career either. I mean, my background is in social work. And when I had these special needs children, I had to start a family daycare so that I could have I
had a whole daycare too.
That's how I started with this whole career. And because the therapist had to come to the house to give the therapy to my sons who had autism. And so I had to stop working in social work, and I had the family daycare, which was great. And I loved it. It was, it was super fun. But once my children got older, my husband was like, okay, I don't want my house in daycare anymore. And so I said, okay. And so then I moved into the nanny world. But, it really, I just love it. It's my passion. It's, I have all these degrees, but what I love to do. And I'm good at it. I mean, I'm just, you know, I feel confident saying that because I know that I am. And I'm touching children, and I'm touching parents, and I'm helping parents be better parents, and children, you know, to have better, you know, to have better lives. And that's a wonderful thing. So I love it.
I do too. It helped me to stay at home. My children have special, my middle child, my oldest child was diagnosed with ADD. My middle child had reflux, and he lost half of his body weight at 6 weeks old. So we were back and forth in the hospital, out of the hospital, literally trying to keep him alive. And then my youngest son, he was born with fluid on his ears. So he couldn't hear for the first year of his life, which resulted in dyslexia. So we've been through the what is that? The school system. He was tested, and then we had the special education classes. It was just a lot, and a lot and a lot. So I know each child is different, and each special needs is different. But I feel you on that one, and that was one of the reasons why I had a home daycare, because I wanted to be home with my children because of their illnesses, because of what they were going through. And I was like, every time I try to work outside the home, it's like they're calling me. You need to come pick up your child from school. You need to come get this. And I'm like, what in the world? How can I do this? So that's how I ended up being at home. Story similar to yours, being at home.
Yeah. So they asked why we stopped doing family daycare. Well, for me, like I said, it was my husband who said, you know, used every single room of our house. We had pack and plays in every bedroom, and I had posters, and I had toys, and I mean, it was set up like a daycare center, because, you know, I taught. I mean, I
did too.
Whole thing, and I loved it. But my husband was like, okay, I'm tired of living in a daycare. And so, you know, that was, and when my children went back to school and we didn't need the therapist in the home anymore, it was 8 years that I had that. And, you know, my husband was like, okay, enough's enough. And so I did go back to social work briefly, and my heart wasn't in it anymore. And then that's when I started nannying. But that's someone asked why we gave it up, and that's why I gave mine up. So,
well, mine was the straw that broke the camel's back was when the Dress Me Elmo was in the container underneath the bed. And you know how sometimes the batteries start, you know, going out, and they just start making weird noises. Well, it's 2:00 in the morning, and Elmo says, "Let's finish getting dressed." And we both sat straight up. He's like, "Okay, that's it." 8 years, and I had been doing it 10 years, and I was like, he said, okay, I think the boy has got it under control. You need to get it, so you need to find something else to do. So Elmo was the reason why.
Elmo was free.
Elmo ruined it all. I had it made, but Elmo came along and ruined it all. So, but it was time. My son was 10 years old, and he was in school. He was in the 4th grade. So, and by that time we had gotten him all the special needs classes that he needed. So yeah, it was time. It was time. And besides, I wanted to work outside of my home. Whoa! Okay, sorry about that. I almost tipped over my tripod. But yeah, it was time. It was time. Emily says her oldest is now 21, is high functioning autistic. I remember the nannies and teachers who loved him unconditionally. Oh.
My autistic sons are now 25 and 27, so it's been a long,
right.
But and it'll continue to be a long road. But I love them so much, and they're doing so well, and my whole family supports me in what I do. And last week I worked 98 hours. So
I was going to ask you, are you rested yet?
No, not really.
Okay.
I had to go at 6 a.m. this morning, so it's been a tiring week. But thankfully, the night nanny is all better now, and she's back at work, and now I can work my regular 12-hour days instead of 24 hours.
Bless you, bless you, bless you. Okay, I know your
Um,
husband was like, honey, are you home?
no, he's just counting the overtime hours.
Oh, okay. Well, hey,
My overtime,
there's that too. I
but,
totally agree with you, Emily. She does deserve a medal. Yes, a crown and a medal.
but anyway,
Yes.
yeah, join the INA. I mean, I know there's been, um, I heard way back when, before I joined the INA, that, there was, uh, you know, things that were bad about it. I don't even know what, but I really cannot say enough good things. No organization is
Yes.
perfect, of course, but we really do try hard. Speaking as a board member, we are not perfect, but we do try hard to do what's best and to further the nanny world. That's what we want to do. We're trying to make things, we try to make decisions that are best. We don't always make the right ones, but nobody's getting paid. We're all volunteer, and I can honestly say that everyone really cares. And I think that I joined the organization and I joined the board because I think you can do more from within than, bickering from outside.
Right.
And so I think that if everybody joins and everyone helps a little bit, we can be so much stronger. And
Yeah.
I really believe that together we're so much, whereas if we're apart and we're bickering and the younger nannies are this and the older nannies are this, and we could bicker all day, but I think together we're just so much stronger. So I really believe that, it's not the INA versus Nanny Palooza or anyone against anybody else. I really think we're all together. We're all one. And that's kind of my big thing.
Yes. We're all a village. That's what I say. Nanny Village Unite. That's hashtag Nanny Village Unite. All of us need to come together. Nannies, mannies, all of us come together. We have a big voice.
We may have different ways.
Voice.
That's great, but we should all, pitch in and work together to the greater good.
If you're not a part of the solution, please don't be a part of the problem.
Exactly. And I think we are trying, and to make it better, join us and make us better. Yeah. That's what I can honestly say.
Yes. So, and we rise by lifting each other up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a like button, but when I get done, I will be liking that, loving that, all for that. Yes.
And Jen, my nanny, she's in my nanny support group here in Charleston. So
yay, Jen! So, will I see you next week? Will you be?
I will try my best. Okay. I'm still putting mine together, so I'm scrambling last minute because I've been so busy.
We're talking about the hard work that goes in behind the scenes, and in the road to game day. That's the name of next week's show. The road to game.
On game day, it'll all be together.
Yeah. But it takes a lot behind the scenes to get to game day. It's a lot of preparing. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Trust that.
I did want to mention one thing before I get off.
Okay.
You're missing one really good conference, especially for a teaching nanny, and that's NACY, the National AEYC, Education of Young Child. That's such a good conference, and it's going to be in DC this year. So I just wanted to put it little. I decided to go to that one this year. So instead of Nanny Palooza. Sorry, Sue. I love you, Sue. You're the best, Sue. But I love NACY as well. It's very different. It's huge. I mean, it's thousands of people, and not a lot of nannies. It's mostly daycare centers and preschools and that kind of thing. But it's very interesting, and you learn a lot from that as well. And I think I try to go to a different variety of ones, just to get a different variety of experiences.
I was in a daycare, and we were what I call practicing for NACY. because we wanted to get approved. And we went through a training class. It was after work. We went through a training class. Okay, this is what the classroom needs to look like. This is what this needs to be. This is what, I mean, we were on it, and we got it. We got approved. We got NACE. I was like, yes, we got accredited. I was like, yes. That is
that's a
hard
big
thing to do.
it's a thing. Yeah, so I'm an and I'm a NACE member, and I have been both of them for several years, and I'm proud of both of those. And they look good on your, resume when you're going to, and I'm INA credentialed as well, and that looks good. And it's important to keep your resume up with all of these things, and so, and you get that little thing you can put on your cards, and you can put resume that INA credentialed nanny. I mean, that's big. So anyway,
it is. I went to an interview for a babysitting job on yesterday, and I took my portfolio with me, and I have all of my certificates from Nanny Palooza, my INA associate membership, all my certificates. And they were like, well, what is this? And what is that? I'm so glad you asked. And so I was explaining to them about all the different things that they're going, I didn't know that existed. It was just like you and Cate were saying, they don't know it exists until we tell them about it. And I started explaining to them. And then when I left, they said, you know what? You are the most professional nanny that we have had come through here. You have everything together. And that's why we go to these trainings, so we can know. This morning, I interviewed yesterday at 4:30. This morning by 8:30, she was like, oh, you're a good fit. I'm like, I know you didn't have time to check all my references. That was what was going on in my head. But I was like, yes, on the inside. But that's why we go to these conferences, because I know at our conference here in Dallas, we're having a portfolio. Part of one of the trainings is the portfolio. It is so important that you look like the professional that you are. If you claim to be a professional, look like one. Have all your credentials and things in your notebook, in your portfolio. Parents, pay attention. Trust me.
Oh, they sure do.
You
right.
Not think
they sure do.
They do. And when they tell you about it, it's even better, because it makes you feel like, yes, it was not in vain that I went to International Nanny Training Day. It was not in vain that I went to the INA conference or Nanny Palooza, because I got there with the family. And I plan
it makes better. It makes you, and you earn more money as well.
Yes.
And then you can also, I want to echo what Cate said about asking your employers to pay. I have in my contract, I get $1,000 a year to pay for professional development plus 5 days. And it's a lot, but it's important to me. Like, that's one of the things that's important to me, is to get professional development. So I use that not only for the fees for the conferences, but for travel expenses and hotel and that kind of a thing. So I can go to at least 2 conferences a year, because I want to go to at least 2 conferences a year, hopefully 3, because that's important to me. And they don't blink, because they want me. And if that's what I want and they want me, they go ahead and give it to me. So, you might want to start smaller than that, but the sky's the limit. And they want to give it to you because they're getting professional development. They're professionals. They're getting professional development as well. So it's not unusual for them to pay for that, because they're getting that. So you don't ask, you're not going to get, but ask.
Because their companies pay for them to go to all these conferences and things that they have to attend, because they need it to be more professional at their job. So ladies, don't be afraid to ask, because my contract is changing. Trust that. I'm going to start asking for what I want. And when being a nanny is just like any other job. They ask you, so what are your requirements? This is what we're offering. Well, what do you have in mind? Tell them what you want. And if it, decreases your salary by $1 an hour, give me the $1,000 in the 5 days. I'd rather have that than the $1 an hour, because it's going to give me leeway when this contract is up, so we can renegotiate and we can get that extra dollar or something per hour. So, yeah.
Yeah, Kate asked about membership level for NACY. I forget, they just changed them this year, but it's whatever the lowest. I mean, I think I paid something like $60, something like that, for, I'm not a student, but whatever the next one up from that is for, a professional. I don't know what it's called, but I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, don't be afraid to ask. That's right, Jenny. Woohoo! Another South Carolina. I got a cheer from my South Carolina peeps here.
It's showing up tonight.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much, Laura. Go and rest, because I know you probably have to be at work in the morning, and you're on the East Coast. Yep. So I'm going to let you go and rest, because you've been
take care.
You've been.
I'll see you next.
All right. See you next week. All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, ladies. That was all about the INA, which is coming up in May the 17th through the 20th. That's when the INA conference is. But before then, we have the International Nanny Training Day, which is a local conference. So next week, we're going to have the organizers on to explain and tell us all about the Road to Game Day. That's what we're calling the show, the Road to Game Day, because it takes a lot of behind the scenes work to get to International Training Day. When you get there and it's all nice and laid out and you're enjoying it, and lunch, and I know Aileen has a mixer going on after hers. So all those special treats and all the after effects and everything that goes on, it takes a lot of hard work to put all that stuff together. So we're going to find out what the behind the scenes for the Road to Game Day is. And also, I know that Sue Downey has been on, and she's doing all these incredible hat tricks. I know I saw that one. She's coming up with different creative ways to talk about International Nanny Training Day, so check her out. Set your settings on Facebook for Nanny Palooza, for INNTD, for INA, so that when anyone from those conferences come on to explain about the conference, you can find out more answers to your questions and find out where it's located, where it is in your city. And we will see you next week. I hope you all have a great week, and looking forward to next week.